Right, Ledgers, can everybody hear me? And what chart can you see? Oh, well, not chart, sorry. Can you see the Delta Exchange website, sir? Good evening, hope you all had a good weekend. Should be a Delta Exchange website. Once confirmed, we begin. So I'll get the disclaimers out the way with, and then we can continue. Look at this vape thing trying out. Okay, excellent. So if you can, share the video if you can, like, and we will start. So welcome back to another Bitcoin for Ledgers weekly live stream. So we were supposed to have Crypto ISO and Vulcan Forged on, but ISO is a bit under the weather, so we're gonna reschedule that. But yeah, definitely gonna have them on, and you can see why I'm bullish PYR, and interesting to see what they got. So before we start, as always, we need to thank and acknowledge our sponsor, Delta Exchange, for making this happen. So they sponsor this streams, so you guys can have it free. So if you like what you see, you can join me by signing up to the link in the description, and you'll get some discount on your fees and up to 30,000 deposit bonus. Words mixed up tonight. Obviously terms and conditions, but yes, my link you get a special discount. So finally, just as ever, nothing in this video stream constitutes financial advice in any way. Trading crypto comes with a high risk element, and you should always consult with a financial professional before embarking on any activity of this kind. Now that's out the way with, let's get on. So I want to do a clean chart today, briefly go over what I said. I think Ethereum went nicely to plan. I've lost my chart for Ethereum. I keep every stream lose my chart, but yes, Ethereum went to plan nicely actually. Close most of my longs, not shorts, longs. But yes, let's start with the main charts I'll be looking at, okay, and then we'll take it chart by chart. So if we look, go to the daily, and we've been speaking about this, okay, for a while. Oh man, I hate these colors. One second, it's gonna trigger more OCD and so fix it. I don't know why it does this all the fucking time. I must have done something, but yeah. So what we've got is these ranges here, okay. Yes, smash the like, share the video if you can. Here, so we're starting to break out now, okay. Is this going to be a double top before leg lower, or is this the official breakout? I personally think it's going to go higher, okay, but let's see what happens. So as long as we're above here, okay, this is bullish. So we had that chance to deviate, unless this is one of those ones like this. Okay, we can't rule it out, but I'm always open to all possibilities. I'm going to lean towards higher prices. Okay, now there's one thing that is on my nerves, and I say that from experience, is the way I don't see any open targets for LTC. Yes, we'll get there, Let me get through what I got to get through. And because the time I normally spend bringing a guest on, I'll spend that doing some else, okay? I'll get through Litecoin. Well, I'll get to that bit in a minute, my OCD part of this candle. But yeah, so higher prices. Target-wise, the next target, as we discussed before, 69.4 and 74k. Those are all in the previous reviews, okay? So if you've been watching my reviews, you'll know exactly how I got them. There's no point repeating it again and again for everybody. Let's just get straight to the point, and then we can cover as many setups as we can. So what do we look for trigger now? Now, my issue is, if we go back, right, very rarely do we get candles where it's got a flat bottom. Yes, it can happen. I'm not saying it can't, but very rarely. Okay, I mean, this could still come down. Okay, don't mention your alts. Whoever starts mentioning their alts now, you will get booted. Okay, so let me go through Bitcoin. If I'm going through Bitcoin, Ethereum, do not mention any alts. I'll ask for what else you want once I'm done. So don't. You will get booted straight away because it's distracting and it's clogging up the chat for people that ask genuine questions. So back to my point, very rarely do we get candles with a flat. Maybe was this flat? I don't know. Let me just hover over it. 1 or 2 times you do. So let's quickly go over that one. That low was 880.95. The open, no, that wasn't. It looks like one from a distance. That low, no. Very rarely do we get flat candles. It went straight up. That usually at a resistance level, I find that a warning sign. In the middle of something, okay, can get retested within the range. But it's just something I keep an eye on. Okay, whether it's got any merit to it or not, I don't know. But especially in FX, I see a lot. Whenever, like, for example, so when you get the daily open, right? This is how you got it. You got the open, for example's sake, and then you get that wick down initially for a bullish day, and then obviously you get that expansion up, don't you? Right? Similar to the weekly candle. Okay, yes, Bitcoin is king. What's that got to do with anything? Don't be stupid comments. Okay, so this is what I'm worried about. Now, whether that's going to be a future retest or not is yet to be identified. So just keep that in mind, okay? Yeah, very rarely, once or twice, yeah, but in general, it rarely happens, okay? So I'm not going to not do longs based on that. I don't know, it's always on my mind, okay? Stop loss for this. Wow. Okay, so just keeping that in mind. So what I'd be looking for is something like this. Go back down. So I'm still aiming for higher prices. And there's no reason why we can't get a retest. So if we look previously, okay, maybe it's easier like this. Let's draw our range here. So short-term range like this, okay, like that. And on the lower downside, just simplify the chart, okay, a bit, maybe like that. Okay, so that was a deviation, a little deviation there. And if you remember, all I said was we were just trading within here. Now that we've broken out, is this going to be a deviation or not? I don't know. Okay, we'll see. But what I would like to see, if that's the flat candle, then if we can get a push down, okay, deviate, but maybe even tag this area, it doesn't really matter. Take out that low, that initial candle, and then, because that would be a retest play anyway, wouldn't it? Something like this. If you had a candle there, retest this trend line, okay, and then deviate back above, then I'd say the low of the week probably is in, or low is in. And if we can hold that, that means that this is a deviation like this. That means this was a deviation, and then that's my long, and then I'm gonna go for the targets, and my targets were 69.4, and then after that we can go for targets, but that's gonna be the main target. So target one's gonna be here, obviously. 143, Alex, hello. So that's going to be target one. So if a swing fails this, I'll start trimming some off, stop break even. But because it's a breakout, after such a large range, 69.4 to 70k is my target, and then 74k. Does that make sense to everybody? So naturally, even without that no wick, we would be looking for a retest there, wouldn't we anyway? So let's simplify that down again. We'll be looking for a retest around here regardless. Okay? So if we can do that, and then do that, and then let's go to our targets, whatever the case may be. Is everybody clear with that? Fairly straightforward setup, to be honest with you. Nothing complicated about it. Yeah. Okay. Now if we close like this, that would also be a Monday's range setup. So I'm assuming this is the Monday's low. Okay, and say we just close like this, Monday's low, and just for example, say argument's sake, say this is Monday's high. Okay, then what we do is, it was a deviation Monday's rate, so we maybe retest this consolidation, who knows. Okay, and then deviate, so that would then take us back above the SR level as well. We're looking for retest, so the confluence of a Monday's low and SR, deviate. You can firstly, as a day trade, play towards Monday's high, range level to range level. If you swing fails that, cut it. Now you've got the range set for the week, and then if it breaks above and holds, then that's further proof or probability in our favor, where we've got consolidation, breakout, retest, higher prices, and let's see the moonshot. Okay, so that's further on. Is everybody clear with that? There's 72 of you here. Let's get it to 150 likes at least. Share the video on Twitter if you can. So that's my long play. Now, at what point would I start getting worried? Okay, and could we play the short side of things? Possibly. I won't go over the short. Well, should I go over the shorts? But even the shorts, right? I gotta be careful what I stream here, because you got some twats, right, that just copy every little thing without any rules or context behind it. There's an if-then scenario for me to even short, so I may just allow that for now. So let's. What if market decides to just go up from here? Okay. Actually, you know, I will post it. Okay. So if I'm saying that that's the objective, Monday's low, okay, then as a scalp idea, okay, so let's limit. It's easy with a simplified chart actually. What the fuck? We'll got all these levels. Let's look at that, right? And it's a smaller deviation, but you gotta be quick on the trigger with this, okay? If that's the Monday's low, okay, and it's only a small play I'm looking for. And if you can deviate, get back below here, okay? If it gets back below here, and that would be my scalp from there towards there. Now this type of move isn't for everybody. I play these regularly. Hello George. Trader RB. Hello. Yeah, if I haven't mentioned your name, so I do apologize. There's loads of you here. Okay. So yeah. Hello CG143. Annie, Alex, Gregor, Ryan. Yes. Okay. So that's just level to level, and then that would be the long play like I mentioned if it deviates back above. But that's if you only do these kind of plays and Duck P obviously. He's the main man, good friend of mine. So these sort of plays are more for more experienced traders. If you're not experienced, don't bother. Just wait for the simple setups, okay? Now the issue arises, and where I say, you know what, you might be fucked, okay? Because we can't rule out this being a lower high, or even a swing failure of this, okay? We can't rule out something like this, or we can't rule out something like this either, okay? This could still be like a distribution going on here. Okay, this deviation, okay? Obviously, it will be confirmed below here. So let's simplify that down. Start with the easiest shorts. If you remember, and for this, you know what, I'm better off just going to a clean chart. Giving myself a fucking ball leg for no reason. We're going to take this leg, right? From that low to that high, okay? I was looking for, if you remember, on the weekly chart, okay? I'm going to spend some time on Bitcoin because this is more or less going to dictate things. I mean, if it is a genuine breakout, unless fuck all is going to happen, this was still, okay, here. So if I mark this out, this weekly hasn't closed yet. Okay, officially on a higher time frame basis, that was a swing failure pattern. There's no reason why we can't have one of these ones where, you know, there pushes up, wicks it. If it gets below the open, then it's kind of fucked, isn't it? Okay, so we're gonna go deeper into this now. Now, there's no reason. Now, remember when I said what would be nice is if something like this had happened where you got stops resting here. Okay, if it had come down, retested the SR, then got back above, I think that would have been easier to go for. Okay, again, I'll go for what I think would confirm the distribution. I'm more, if it's at extreme end, I start with level to level, which has the opportunity to evolve into something bigger. Okay, that's how I do it, and I don't fight it, and then I can always get right back on board later on. But anyways, that would be the ideal scenario if that was to happen. Okay, but while we're above here, it's still, you know, we could still play for this high and then the objectives higher up. So let's continue now before I waffle on too long. That level is still, you know, it hasn't really made a clearance of that. So how would I say, okay, you know what, this market's gonna leave that flat low in, it's gonna continue higher and maybe later on. So I'm gonna mark out my objective. So let's just go for 69.4, which was on the other chart, okay? Just for argument's sake. Just go for $100. I know it's probably different on the but just go with it, okay? That was our first target, right? So what was capping the market before, and what you do is I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna get this box, and this was capping the market before, and it's capping the market again. So this consolidation here, see that there, and it broke down, retest is sold off, retest sold off, and once it got back below there, so that sets to me that this is a range, okay, and then around here, the flat candle low, that will be a smaller range. Okay, keep that in mind. I agree with you that PA will continue to offer upwards. Okay, that's nice. So for continuation trade, because since that's the key level, if it continues, like consolidates here, breaks out and holds, that would be the continuation trade for me, and that would be a run up towards here at least. And if it's gonna nuke, maybe quick smash down, but that would be my level to level trade. Does that make sense? So that would be trend continuation for me. That would be say, you know what, market doesn't want to go lower. If this price action unfolds, clean break and hold. If it swing fails this, then no, get the fuck out. So if it breaks above and then holds, then my trigger there, and then we're gonna go for that, and then let's see what happens after that. Okay, extended targets for this would then be, let's just keep it simple, take this high to, I'm going to use this low here because that's a spike, and then the 127.2 lines up with that, and then we got the 72,380, okay, or whatever, and then we've got that there. Okay, so those will be my further up. So after this, then we got the 72,390 and then 75,700. These are extended targets for trend continuation. Okay, so if it was to do something like this and then by some reason did that, that is dangerous. That I would consider probably a top end. Okay, because if it's gonna go lower, it shouldn't really do that, in my opinion. Now let's go down to what worst case scenario, and you have to be prepared for worst case scenarios, because if the market is stopping, and if you're not prepared, what are you gonna do? Might as well just make money on the downside then, instead of crying about it, do something about it. So what we do is let's mark that out, and say okay, what would suggest that? So let's mark out our inbox now. Okay, I'm gonna give this some girth. I'm gonna give it a red color, and then we're gonna do this. Okay, so we're gonna go over there. So at what point would it confirm to me? Now I'm happy to play to the downside, level to level. So for example's sake, if it comes down here and then retest and then starts breaking down below here, that is no longer a deviation to the downside. That becomes a deviation to the downside, and then that from there, play level to level there. Because when you retested this and started breaking down, that was my short just towards range lows. So from there, oh my god, we got another fucker here. Who the fuck is this guy? Listen, just stop posting your flipping alts. From there towards there. If your swing fails this, if it deviates and then gets back above, that's my exit. Because this has happened, at that point I would think there's going to be a bigger nuke happening. That would take us to the 50% area, which is here, okay? And this is where I was ideally looking, and Bitstamp is here, and the other feed is not. So the separate level to level play, and this part would confirm that all this was distribution to me, okay? After it would happen, I don't know here. Here I can take a punt and take a risk, okay? But if I don't know, I don't know. So let me clean this up. I just play a basic chart pattern, and it doesn't get more basic than this, in my opinion. Do this, okay? Do that. If it gets below here, okay, starts breaking down, then I think it's game over, and at that point we come towards here, most likely, because this is where the stop's gonna be resting. This is just an anomaly on Bitstamp. On the other exchanges, you don't get that. That would also line up with 50% of this range, which is key level for us. Oh, yeah. Take this low to this high, around 50%, isn't it? And that would be a nice retest on the weekly. Remember when I said weekly area here? So this zone here would be what I'm looking for, the big longs, and that would be healthy in my opinion. Because if it swings up from here right now straight away, I don't know, because none of these fuckers have been taken out. Okay, no, I don't 150k by Friday. Yes, not 150k. We're going to 300k by Friday. What are you on about? This way I'm going to be looking for the big longs. Okay, like I said to you before, this region here. So if it comes into here, so I'll play it from there towards there. Okay, out. If it then does this, deviates back above, that's my long from there towards there. If it finds resistance, I'm out. That's why I play level to level. I couldn't give a fuck about how up or down. Forget the shit posting. Just focus on what I'm telling you here. Okay, and then if it reclaims this, then most likely that's the deviation done, stop run done, retested the mid range, retested the weekly level, and that should probably send us towards there. But again, I can still do it level to level for day traders. If you find resistance, cut it. If it breaks and holds above, there to I know exactly where I'm going to trade. If I miss this, I've got this. If I miss this, I've got this. You got plenty of opportunities. It's not just one. Does that make sense to everybody? So I'll just navigate within the range. Whatever it does, makes no difference to me. What do I mean by distribution? Google it. It's just selling off, just selling in the range. Get something like this. There's no reason why something like this can't happen. Yeah, but anyways, is that clear for everybody? Yes, bigger picture is still bullish. Bigger picture, you can drop to flipping 40k, 30k, and still be bullish. Bigger picture. This is trading. This is not investing. Okay, everything's bullish. I mean, you can fall all the way down to here and still be bullish. What is somebody's bullish and someone is bearish? It can do something like this and be bullish, bigger picture. You know what I mean? You can retest this high, and the bigger picture of things can still be bullish. So I'm not talking. I'm not using the word bullish. Well, maybe I have used the word bullish, but I'm just trading it. I don't care which direction. If it's gonna show me up move or setups, I'll take the long setups. If it's gonna show me short setups, I'll take the short setups. Okay. Why haven't we looked in a while? Yeah. Yeah. So that's Bitcoin. That's more or less covered for Bitcoin. So a deep pullback scenario, like I mentioned, is still valid in my opinion. Just depends on what happens. If you mention Litecoin, I won't do Litecoin. Just be patient. Let me get through this, for God's sakes. So yeah, that setup is the same as the deep pullback setup is the same as I mentioned before. So if we get below here, okay, then that's a deviation, okay, and that would be the higher probability short for me. Doesn't mean we can't short it before that. I'm just giving the easy setups from there towards here, and that would be a retest. That would be a back into this range, and then that would be reclaim, play back up towards there, okay. So it's got to be below here, clean break below the blue box, then I'll say higher probability shorts. Till then, level to level shorts if I wanted to. Other than that, retest bullishness. Okay? And that's it. Okay? So that's more or less Bitcoin covered. Let's go to Ethereum now. What do we do from here? So what we've done here is we've retested previous all-time high. Now the structure on Ethereum I don't like. I get worried when I see something like this. Okay? Now does that mean it can't continue up? It's just I feel uncomfortable. So that just makes me say I'll continue to long it till I'm wrong, but at any moment we could get a nuke, okay, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So what I mean by that is this is just too clean. I mean, when it goes up like that and the shorts haven't been fucked yet. I know the longs are getting fucked every short, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we get something like, I don't know, all of a sudden like that, and then quick reclaim, wipe some shorts out. Okay, have you ever come across scenarios like that? Well, of course you have. It's crypto. I mean, let's take example this. Let's take another example of what I mean. And this is what I mean. I'm not gonna force it. Okay, I'm not gonna force it. Okay, by anticipating that, it's just something I keep on my radar when it goes too long without stop run. I mean, here it went quite a long time. Okay, and this was a minor one, but this was the consolidation. There was a lot of stops running over. Once they cleaned that out, and then we resumed higher, didn't we? Okay. So this after that was when I felt more comfortable if I was gonna long it. So here I am keeping an eye on it, and I'm still bullish until proven otherwise. Now what would make me say, okay, we're probably gonna go lower? I need some structure break, and where would it go down to? So let's just do the same thing. If I was gonna do the same for Bitcoin, I'm gonna mark our possible area if we're gonna retrace to. Okay, so the thick green lines on it's a different setup. I don't really share that one. That's just my thing. You know, I want to get another chart out for this. Bear with me for a second. A clean chart out, because I want to explain something different. Can I go down here, please? FUSD. Please tell me it's a clean one. Yeah. Yep, that's clean. Let's go with this one. So, what was the area here that was the key pivot for us in the market? I believe this area here, personally. Can I adjust that a bit just to fit my narrative? No. Around here. Okay, that was a key point in the market. What do I mean by that? Well, this was a previous area, right, of a deviation. Once we got above here, so this was resistance, and found support. Once it got below it, big sell-off, right? This was a deviation before, okay? And once we retested it, sometimes, you know what, when we look at too high of a time frame chart, our mindset shifts. It's the same rule we would have set for a lower time frame, we don't really set that for a higher time frame. And eventually it ends up falling. It just takes time. And it's that time factor that people can't seem to wait for decent sell-off. So below this line, there's decent sell-offs, okay? I would anticipate this level to be a level of retest. Yeah, okay, we retested it, okay? But it doesn't mean we can't retest it again. So this is where my setup lines up. So similar to what I said with Bitcoin, if we do get that deeper pullback scenario, I don't know if that's going to put us for Bitcoin, but say we come into here, well, one can nuke a lot harder than the other, can't it? Okay, say Bitcoin can do this within a day. If you've been trading long enough, I mean, it's done it here, it can do these things easily, okay? But this would be a level for a deep pullback, okay? A level of interest. Do we have any other confluence in here? So if I take the low to this high, this comes in around the 50% level, okay? So I'm gonna give away a bit of alpha here. I don't know. Okay, I don't want to share too much. If you take that high there, okay, mid-range is always a pivotal level, so we've got a lot of confluence lying if it was to come here. So just like here, it was used as a deviation. If it was to come here, deviate to the downside, so this was when it's bearish, okay, I say bearish short setups. This time that would be a deviation like that, and as long as this level holds, okay, and let it do its thing, let it go squeeze as much as it wants, and once it gets back above, then I'm stepping in, first target towards here, Okay, and then if you find resistance here, starts breaking down, I'll cut it, knowing full well that whatever happens here, once it reclaims, that's a small deviation, that's my long, and then we go to whatever high is. And for example sake, say that was the high as an example. Okay, where should you invest yourself? $17 in a $2, just give it to a $2 hole or something. So if that's the high, and if that's for example say if that's the low, then my targets would be as such. Okay, whatever the case may be, 127.2, 161.8, 200. Okay, that would be my extended targets. Okay, no, can't make no. Why would you want to discuss with people that are still learning? They don't know what the fuck they're on by themselves. That's just gonna hinder your own progress. But yeah, that's that then. So currently I like this as a range. So at what point would I feel confident on short? As I say confident, would I start picking at top? Well, around this region is not bad, but I'm not gonna. That's just let's not go there for more experienced traders. But if it does something like that, and Bitcoin gets back below what I mentioned, okay, then from there, I'll play it towards here. Target. That's much. I made a mess of this. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'll make a mess of this. Okay. Now we've identified where's going to be the stops, etc. Nice clean lows here. And then this pivot here. Okay. So if it got below here and held, that's my short. Target 1, target 2. And if it does this, reclaims, back into the longs, play both sides of the market. Does that make sense? That's if it's going to do pullback from here. And where Bitcoin is at, if they're going to do it, they're going to be from here, in my opinion. Okay. Now, for the long setup, well, it's long till you're wrong season. Okay. So what do I do in this case? Well, I'm not comfortable long in here right now. Okay. The longs were around here, which I took last week. We discussed this last week as well. So if that's the high, okay, then that's the deviation done. Once it gets back above, well, you get invalidation below here. And it's pushed up towards targets and short-term objectives. Okay, get the high to the low, and he's got the 127.2 extension hit. That will be extended targets there. Okay, so what do I do in this case? It's kind of tough right now, to be honest. Well, what I want to say is, where am I wrong? Well, I'm wrong below here, aren't I? Because if that's below here is where my shorts trigger, then that's where I'm wrong for my longs, aren't I? So if we can pull back, okay, so if Bitcoin, so in this case, Bitcoin's a bit more clearer to me. So what I would do is, I mean, if it comes into here and starts holding, and that's, I'll probably take a long there, I'll cut it below here, and I'll play it back up to first target here at level to level, second target, whatever the high is, okay? But what I would do is, as soon as Bitcoin gives me a trigger, I'll probably go for the trigger with Ethereum at that point. Why? Because where Ethereum is at, it's at price discovery. It's hard for me to say a setup, to be honest with you. But if it's going to be the same case where that's a high and that's a deviation, so if it does this and then deviates back above, I'll just keep playing the same setup until I'm wrong. So this is going to be ping pong. So is this going to be the range? Is the question. From there towards here. This is where the price is concentrated. That's a deviation. Is this going to be a deviation? For scalpers out there, probably something like this. Break down below here, toward there, be done. Unless it nukes in one candle. And if it does this and gets back above, play the same thing towards there. Where am I looking for comfortable shorts? It's got to be below here, in my opinion. So if it gets below here and starts breaking down, from there, target. So I'll play it within this range. And then once we've got the range established, we can play higher prices. Is that clear for everybody? Now for extended targets, if it is going to go a lot higher, I'll use a bigger leg. Okay. And what I'll do is, for swing objectives, I could probably get that to the next stream or just follow my Twitter or something. But on the bigger target, if it is going to go higher, we got the 5,075, 5,970, and then 6,975. But those are long term objectives. A lot can happen in the meantime. Okay. I would just love something like this at least. Okay. And then start going towards there. And if it reclaims above here, then start going towards this, and then this. Does it look like I'm a fucking signal service? Is very unclear to buy sell. If you cannot tell where I'm buying and selling from this, that means you're not cut out for trading. What the fuck is this? Stick to hodling, mate. Honestly, Stick to hodling. How much clearer can I make it? You know what? Get the fuck out of here, man. Do my head in. Flipping hell. Jesus. I can't fucking handle you. What do you want me to say? If it's not clear to you, then fuck off. Okay. Is everybody else here with a plan? Like, oh god. Get to him as well. Yeah. Everybody clear with Ethereum? Can I show my fib setup here? No, let's go to the settings. Just screenshot to watch the recording. There. So is everybody else clear with the plan apart from that twat? Okay. Okay, let's carry on. That's Ethereum done. Let's cover some alts. Okay. I do like Litecoin. I did say I'll do Litecoin. Let's do Litecoin. Yeah, let me save this. I don't know. Some people just can't be helped. I don't know what to do. Let's do Litecoin. I do like Litecoin. I do like AVAX, Luna. I like Luna as well. PYR? Yeah, I'll do PYR as well. Go on, yeah. Let's pump PYR on stream. Why don't we? Okay. Let's pump PYR on stream right now. And then do the rest. I'll do some others. Actually, there's a few alts I think that are solid fundamentally. Okay, let's start with this. Let's start pumping this together. This is going to turn into a pump and dump stream. So, next upside objective is here. So what I'm looking for with PYR, okay. Alice is in my, check my Discord. Alice is in there. I've got Alice in my Discord. So there's no point. Not Discord, sorry, not Discord, I don't use Discord. Apologies. Telegram, take that back. Telegram. Yes, the Asian quants are watching right on stream. Are we ready to pump this? Joke, before somebody flipping takes it seriously. Starts quoting me out of context and I'll go fuck his mom. But anyways, so what we do is, I mean, this is a lower time frame. Okay, so we got some ranges here. The ranges we've got here are, we got this. They're all more or less equal measured moves, and we got this. Okay, so what I'll be looking for is retest that here. If it deviates, okay, from there towards there, range highs, level to level. If it finds resistance there, start taking some off. And then you got something like this going on. I would then anticipate maybe a pullback, and then once you can clear this level and hold from target, if it finds resistance, cut it, form some sort of range, whatever it's gonna do, break above here, gonna get back in or add on, play it towards there, and then just copy paste these levels like that, and that's it. Maybe take a midpoint if you like, and that's it. If it gets below here, then I'm gonna be thinking, okay, maybe a deeper pullback, and then it could possibly lead to something like this. In case this is some sort of short-term topping, okay. I'm not ruling out a moving towards here. This is where I'll probably go in big. This is the deeper pullback scenario. These are more trend continuations. Remember, these sort of setups are more like this. Okay, and then every now and again you get the deep one. Okay, and then the continuation, wash out. So that this deviation low could actually, in fact, come into here. But how do I don't know that. But what I do know is if it deviates back above, then I know that it's most likely continuation like this. However, if it does this, then that's probably the low in, continue higher. And what I would then do is I say, okay, if that's the case, I'm gonna do two things. One, I'm gonna take the extreme low and assume that's the extreme high. This more or less comes around the 50% area here. Maybe a deviation of that, but so that proves to me that's a solid level. If I want to use the second leg, okay, as a more accurate leg, no, I'll stick to the extreme end. Okay, yeah, I kind of like this one here. So if it did come into here, worst case scenario, okay, then that's a long for me. Okay, and at that point, it's done the you know patterns do this. No, when you get like this, alts do this, and they break out, retest, then they do this, you know, and then after come all the way back down, and then it's the next leg, accumulate for a while, break out. You see that all the time, don't you? And that's it. Okay, but yeah, let's see now. So I've got the trend continuation set up. Now, obviously, if Bitcoin nukes a deeper pullback, then, you know, we go further. Dom James. Is that you? Proud. No, Proud's got his own YouTube channel. That's his name. So that's that done. That's more or less it. Okay, nothing more else to add to that. Next up is Litecoin, like I promised. Let's move on to Litecoin. I'm quite bullish Litecoin. CSD. Coinbase. Okay. So, go back to the eye burning chart. And what we've got here is we've got a clearance of this level here. Okay. QSR deviation. Is it going to be a deviation again? I don't know, because it was a deviation here before. So what I'm going to be looking for is, okay, if as long as Bitcoin stays above, I'm assuming this is going to push up as well. So keep it simple. Okay. What we've got here is this key level here. I'm going to use. Okay. And that's going to be the deviation area like with Bitcoin I showed you guys. So objective is going to be towards here. So if it comes down, retests, and gets back above, that says to me, okay, if it had this chance to go lower, it should have done it already. If it gets back above, that tells me market wants to go higher, invalidation, target 1, target 2, and then higher prices up, further up. And that's that. How much leverage do I use? Enough. I use very little leverage. It just depends on what size you're doing, doesn't it? Just keep your risks, and that's it. Yeah. So yeah, what I'll be looking for, if we can do that, I'll probably go for the target, and then let's see how far I can really go. Okay, I'm gonna quickly look at the Litecoin BTC chart. I haven't in a while. Does that support the idea? I don't know. Let's check it out. So it does, isn't it? I mean, if you look at the Litecoin BTC chart, this is interesting. Litecoin BTC, could this be some sort of low-in? I mean, we're getting back above here, aren't we? What level do I wanna? Is this a small bounce? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look bad, does it? Okay. If you think about it, it doesn't look bad at all. Well, short term anyway. Okay, let's treat that, and let's create a range with this. Let's just create a range. Let's just keep the question to topic. Stop asking me irrelevant questions. That shows your mind is all over the place. You can't focus on one thing, and if you can't focus on one thing, then you're not cut out for trading. Okay, so I can tell a lot about some people here just from the way they ask questions. You're not gonna make it. Sorry. So if this is a deviation like this, well, if it gets back above and holds, yeah, say along towards there, and if Litecoin's bullish and Bitcoin's bullish, then Litecoin would be the better play in my opinion. So that's one range. If it clears this and holds, well, like there, if it clears this, okay, so that's like a deviation area. If it clears this and holds, yeah, say long towards here. So level to level, from there towards there, level to level. That's it. Clear? Good. Luna. Maybe do one more after this. Man, I really wanted Luna here, for God's sakes. I knew it's too good to be true. Okay. Some people find Forex easier, some people find this easier. One personal opinion. So Luna's breaking up, like I mentioned before. So we had this range here previously. So got this range, and we've got this is the range low. Okay. So probability wise, I mean, as for objectives, let me just use this. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna get much objective out of this one. No, this is going and going, isn't it? Let's just take this leg as it's the bigger leg, from that high to this low. So I would say about 58 to 66 is the next objective. What proved that this is the 127.2 was holding us resistance. So I would say that's next target. I did post this setup, by the way, if you were watching the previous streams. I know the chart's different a bit. So this was basically, wasn't it? We got this. And more or less, that was your trigger, wasn't it? Breakout, retest of this high. It's pushing up now. So if you're not already on board, you're not already on board. I can't do much about that. But if the objectives to the higher upside hasn't been met yet, what I would do is I'll take this as our range high, short term. And this is where you want to pay attention to get on board trend continuation in the middle of a leg. So I'll do that in a different color. That's going to be a range high. Now we go to the low time frame. This is more short term intraday stuff, okay? And I mean, I'm not going to chase in the middle of a leg if I'm not already on board. But what I would do is look for the retest. So if I can get something like this, okay, black, I've got my objectives in mind, I've got my consolidation in mind. If we can do this, retest, okay, then that's my long bullish consolidation, breakout, target, and extended targets towards there. So target 1, target 2. Done. Okay, let's do Alice, as I promised. Alice USDT. Let me save this first. Done. Alice USDT. Right, what one here? So, what do we have? What's capping the market? Well, we've got is a clear resistance level. Let's cap in the market. Or let me just mark it as a box. Easier to mark a region sometimes. Oof. Ethereum is dropping. My profit taking was a bad on Ethereum. Did you see that? Not a bad area to get out. Imagine this is the top and it's game over and like, you know. Who the fuck is Alex? Your mom? Alice. So, what we've got here is something like that. Okay. Just pull this level wide to fit my narrative. But no, it's the support area here and the resistance area here. So, I mean, it's still below here, so it's resistance, right? But if Alice was to break out above here, okay, it's one of those gaming ones, isn't it, Alice? Who cares what the fuck it is? Just trade the price. Do you guys act like FA guys? No, you just fucking trade it and hope for the best. Target in mind, 120, 161.8 from that high to this low. Done. So I would pray that if it breaks out, obviously, that's my long. Fuck off. Breaks out, holds, context in mind, there. Okay, done. That's more or less, that's the breakout play. I'm not gonna take a long here. Where would I take a long? I mean, it's gonna come back to range lows for me. Okay, so either gonna come back to the extreme end, or I'm gonna fuck it off. So that's range lows. So if it was to come back towards range lows, deviate, and then get back above, then I'll get back in, play towards there. Otherwise, it's got to be the breakout play. So either the pullback, I'm not going to long it there, personally. I'd rather long it there because it's a resistance, resistance, sell-off, resistance, sell-off, deviation, sell-off. So why the fuck would I long it there? Unless you know something I don't. Unless you can go anticipate the break and, no, fuck that, I'm not going to even mention that. If you're skilled enough, then that's different. But you're quick to get out, that's different. There or there. Makes sense? Okay, so like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel, check out Delta Exchange, and I'll catch you guys next week. Bye bye.